Hello everyone. I'm Muskan and I'm a data science intern for Charankamal Health Group. Today we are having a seminar for the intern induction program. And I have Dr. Rajiv here with me and Dr. Satish here with me as secondary speakers. So let's begin. I welcome all of you here. Um, what is MedTech industry? It's basically growing really fast. Disability and rehabilitation is highly dependent on innovative robotic and machinery sciences. So we're looking for people in these fields to join our volunteering team. Um, as you know, computer integration is a must in any rehab equipment or technology. Even data science plays a vital role in these understanding the client demographics, needs, and solutions. What is the global disability burden? Uh, Basically, who all need physiotherapy, which is elder people, poor lifestyle, sports injuries, mental health issues, obesity, emotional challenges. And nowadays, young people are facing physiotherapeutic issues such as back pain, cervical issues because our lifestyle is super poor. Finding a solution is really important for these problems. So what does Charankamal exactly do? These are our three main pillars, which is community health, education and clinical care. So we organize free health camps in villages of India. We provide education through our YouTube channel and social media. And we have a physiotherapy clinic in Gurugram in India, Delhi. Our goals are MedTech advancement, which is including robotics, artificial intelligence and sensors to develop innovative solutions. And we also need data for research and innovation, where data science, machine learning, data analysis plays a vital role here. Um, Going on to the next slide. So, how does data science play an important role in Charankamal? So that will include blog writing on present disability data from Indian Clinic. I have a future presentation on this, like I did a case study for the same. Then taking part in data visualizations, creating pie charts, histograms for LinkedIn and various social media platforms. In the future, we can even take educational sessions on YouTube and explain how data science is really important in the health and medtech industry. This is like a future idea. We can do like a one-time lecture or a series of lectures. So this will also provide you with social media exposure. It's possible that you can get like a full-time employment opportunity based on your YouTube lecture series. You can promote it on your LinkedIn really well. So these are just some ideas of what the lecture series could be. Introduction, what is machine learning, how data science is important in career. We can also do a panel discussion including everyone here. So these are like some of the future ideas that we have. So coming to what the interns will, what do we require from the interns? So these are like a couple of questions. What do you want from us? What are your expectations? How long you want to be with us? We expect like minimum 3-month commitment. Then what is your visa status in USA? Are you doing any jobs or internships? And do you want to work hybrid or in person or even remote? So these are some of the few questions that we have for you. And these are like some of the requirements that we need from our interns and volunteers, which is resume, as I mentioned, minimum 3-month role requirement. If you have any past leadership experience, that would be really relevant. Then you should have like a relevant degree and coursework, basic soft skills, even a few references. They could be anything, your previous employer, professors, anyone. Your status and your passion to work, basically. So, how we operate. So, this is like our initial plan. We plan on meeting twice a month, either in library, pizza shops, community halls, even homes. Then we could also schedule a meeting once a month online. And today we are in a tech suite, so that is what we mentioned here. So Dr. Rajiv is our leadership founder, and I'm Muskan, and I'm the co-founder for the student wing advocacy in MedTech. So how we can integrate volunteers with Charankamal? So we can connect on social medias. YouTube subscription, Google Forms, and like uploading your resumes and certificates. And this is an unpaid volunteering opportunity. We do not provide any sort of monetary support here. So this is just a volunteering opportunity. So these are like the roadmap for the volunteers. We have first 3 months of volunteering, then it can be converted to an internship. You will get to learn leadership roles. You can also take part in education roles and advocacy roles depending on your interest. But you will definitely learn a lot of leadership qualities and networking qualities here. So what is the benefit to interns and volunteers? You'll get great references from networking. You'll build a great networking community. As I mentioned, you'll get a leadership opportunity like a role. You'll learn innovation. Your LinkedIn will grow drastically. You'll gain experience, and even you'll get practical exposure based on Indian data, which are these boot camps that we conduct. So these are some of the benefits that we have. Obviously there'll be more. Yeah. So these are like some of the examples of our camp pictures, like the posters that we have previously made. So here we have like our entire team. So yeah, these are like the physiotherapy camp pictures. And here we have like a video that I need to show you from our physiotherapy camp back in India. So these were like the free camps that we conducted for people in India, physiotherapy camps. And we had like a lot of participation as well, 40 people showed up.
When was this?
4th May.
Oh.
Yeah, so very recent. These are like some of the patient pictures that are being treated in the physiotherapy camp as well, clinic. So what are the advances in MedTech, how this integrates with Charankamal? So we have smart rehabilitation where robotics play an important part. So we can develop like sensors to improve mobility and therapy outcomes. Even computer integrated systems can be developed to personalize patient care. Then AI and data science. So machine learning can be used to analyze patient data for better insights. Data visualization aids in identifying care gaps and solutions. Community and education. So based on our existing health camps, YouTube lectures, we can increase awareness and connect more people. Then data-driven research from clinics also support innovation. And coming to global impact, so these solutions will help elder care, mental health, disability, and lifestyle disorders. And also this tech enables scalable, affordable, and inclusive healthcare. So that is our goal, to improve healthcare using MedTech advances. So these are like a few of the robotics and disability management roles. So there's assistive robotics, where robotic arms, exoskeletons can be developed for daily functioning. Then we can develop customized devices which restore independence in physically impaired individuals. Then we have therapeutic applications. Robots can assist in repetitive rehab exercises with precision. Like we can develop a home-based robot which can be bought by people and they can just do these exercises at home in their own comfort. And then AI-driven feedback also accelerates recovery, and we can track patient progress very easily. So integration with healthcare, we can develop smart sensors which monitor vitals and movement patterns. And it also bridges the gap between clinical care and home rehab. And also it will be very accessible and inclusive. So our goal is to develop affordable designs which serve underserved populations. Anyone can afford these. And these advances also reduce caregiver burden and enhance quality of life. So So yeah, that is all. This was the introduction, and now I would like to.
They can type questions. People
Yeah,
will-
if you have any questions, please type it in the chat below.
We'll be back in 3 minutes. Right?
Yes, we'll have Dr. Rajiv's session in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear my voice? Please text and let me know is the voice quality clear?
Yeah, that's it.
You can text it also because a lot of viewers are in person and some of you are on text. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Welcome to our first Leadership Vibes on the MedTech in Boston, America. As you all know, Charankamal Health Group is there for community health empowerment. And we have three pillars, as very rightly you told us. We have three pillars. One is clinical care, which is happening right now in Gurgaon. We have a rehab clinic in Gurgaon. We have our medical camps which happen in Delhi, in Ranchi, Jharkhand, and we want to expand it over the time. Now we also have many camps happening in Gurgaon. And the third is the educational. So today when we are all over here, it is on that aspect of the MedTech that we are here as networking forum. We are going to be talking about bringing people from different specialties all together to advance better health. Let's start about myself. So I'm a pediatrician and a neonatologist. As you can see some of the images there, I passed my medical college from SN Medical College, Agra, and then I did my MRC PCH from UK. I did it in pediatrics. I worked in NHS, which is a free health system of United Kingdom, and there I gained a lot of experience, understood about the public health, about the health access issues. Then I also went to Adelaide in Flinders University, and a fantastic university we'll talk to be part of, where I did MHID. This stands for Masters in Health and International Development. Health, it's easy to say we all need good health, but there are a lot of systems which are needed, and every country, every nation has a different problem set. So health has to cater according to the population. So this was a great learning for me. And thereafter, I did my master's in health and data analytics from Brandeis University, which is here in Boston, Massachusetts, United States of America. So with all this, knowledge. I was very fortunate and I was lucky to have gone through so many premier institutes, learn about the health systems, and having worked as a clinician for more than 25 years, I totally and strongly believe that health is in the hands of the communities. We may have great scientific research, but if it is not reaching to the common person, that research may not be of much use. So, my next slide, please. I hope my voice is clear, and if you have any questions, please put in the chat, and one of my friends will let me know if there's any question coming. I'll try to answer that. So, with my keen interest of global health, by working in India, UK, I did volunteer work in Cambodia as well and Australia. And having worked in health policy right now, especially I've worked in mental health a lot here in America, I have realized that we all need to get together. Now, why this YouTube talk? The YouTube talk is for one reason. If we have audience here who are into data science and they do not know how they can integrate into the health sciences, we might have people from robotics, right? So robotic surgeries are very big norm, and public health professionals, community leaders, non-profits, everybody can be part of global health. That no more that you have to be a doctor, to be a nurse, to be a physiotherapist to help in global health, that does not stand true in today's world. Especially with all the social media, internet, connectedness, you are always watching so much of information on YouTube. So this is the time that we all come together and strengthen the global health. I'll show some pictures here. So this is the first picture of my training in India, as you can see. So this is from a camp where the children with diarrhea, they were visiting the clinic, and you can see how a single pediatrician would have to deal with maybe 20 to 30 children, even more in the outpatient clinic, where the resources are very limited. I remember when I passed, in those days we had oral, even now ORS is one of the best modalities, oral rehydration solution, and so many kids we were able to give ORS and save their lives because it would help the dehydration aspect. Now the other picture is from UK. So this picture is about a child with genetic disorder, and you can see a young child with specs. He has vision issues, he has balance issues, and how happy the mother is. You can see because the child is taking the first step. Rehabilitation care is a very big process. It involves psychologists, involves physiotherapists, occupational therapists. There's a whole team, and then they have to be a dedicated team of workers who are going to monitor the health of the child. Just imagine if you're living in a low resource area where as a mother you are in a remote village, how are you going to get these services? So that's where global health comes into picture. By strengthening the home systems, the systems around the medical facilities, you can empower the communities. The other two pictures, any guesses from where those pictures are? Can anybody put on the guess?
Africa.
I'll take a few minutes for you to put it on the chat. Any country where those two pictures come from?
Africa.
Yeah, just put it on the chat box. I have got live audiences here, they're telling me, but I want everybody to put it on the live so we can know the other two pictures. Where do you think those pictures are coming from? I heard somebody had said Africa, any other?
Some part in Africa, probably.
Okay, just text it, so then I will know from
Somalia,
my,
maybe.
what would you think it is Africa? But anyway, just keep a guess. It's more fun for you to think, the global health. When we look at people, sometimes we make cultural inferences. We think, well, somebody looks like this, or somebody is from this part of the world, So let's understand global health much more better, right? Do you have any other chat saying which part of the world they come from?
Africa, Somalia.
Okay, so somebody said Cambodia. No, this is not Cambodia. So the answer is Australia. Right, and this is a mistake a lot of people do. When they see these two pictures, they do not recognize these as from Australia. So these are the real Aboriginal people of Australia. Australia, Aboriginal people, before the other civilizations came into Australia, Aboriginal people, they are the people of Australia. I used to work in Alice Spring Hospital, which is like in a remote part of Australia. And I used to go to the villages where there is no health access, even helicopter, we would go on a helicopter. There will be 2 doctors and 1 nurse and a pilot, and we will be flying from Adelaide or Sydney to Australia to see these patients, right? And you can see they have the same problems. They are still malnourished. These children, you can see, they have scabies. This child's skin has all the scabies because they're living in the dirt in the remote parts of Australia. So if you search Anybody of you is interested, you can search Uluru Mountains, Alice Spring, central part of Australia. You'll see a lot of images and pictures. So global health is much bigger than what we understand. Next slide, please. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology in the neonatal health. So what is a neonatal health? Question is, who is a neonate? So neonate is a newborn infant, a child under 28 days old. And a lot of pediatrician neonatologists who are listening to me on the talk, they already know there's a lot of complications. A newborn, when the baby's born, they go through a lot of complications, right? As a data scientist, as somebody from robotics or medical field policies, it's a huge drain to the society. If a baby is preterm, just imagine the expensive cost the parents have to go through. So the first picture you can see is a very cute little picture of a baby, and you can see a small nasogastric tube in the nose. Any guesses? Anybody wants to guess here in the live audience? What is this for?
While breathing.
For artificial feeding, right? So the baby's suckle responses are not well developed. If the baby is not born at 9 months, is born at 7 months, 2 months premature, they cannot suckle very well. They lose energy, right? So we have to put the nasogastric tube, and the mother's milk or the artificial milk is pumped through the NG tube. So this is one of the simple examples. But look at the second picture. Would you want to tell us a little bit what is the second picture showing us?
A lot of tubes.
Lot of tubes. What else?
It is covered with some
Cotton.
Yes.
It's the baby's on the cotton, right? Or something really soft, what you can see like a mattress, like a wool or something, right? Because the babies become very cold, hypothermia, so they cannot maintain their temperature. So this incubator is like a mother's womb. It keeps the temperature, it keeps everything, and then what else you think, sir? Too many tubes?
Immature baby.
Immature, very immature, looking at the way the baby's lying, and somebody's hand, most likely it is a nurse's hand or a mother's hand, because the mothers also don't get too much time to spend with the baby, but most likely it would be a nurse's hand. And you can see those two windows, Muskan, those two windows, so that is the only area of operation. Because the moment if you bring the baby out, again the temperature will fall. So you have to get your hands into the incubator and work in that very limited space. So neonatal health has been a big challenge. The advances have been many, but we are talking global health, where not every country or every village or every part of the world would have a facility like that. You need electricity, you need asepsis, you need a very trained staff, you need pediatricians, and you need neonatologists, you need resident doctors who can monitor the baby 24 hours a clock, because they're breathing and their heart rate is changing constantly, right? So let's go forward now. Meanwhile, anybody has any questions, please text anything which is of importance to you. You want me to highlight anything, any question is in your mind, please text. So what are the complications in premature babies? Because when we talk of MedTech, why we are talking of MedTech here? Why we are talking of babies here? Because there has to be solutions to the problems. And a lot of clinical care would need technology to save that problem. So I'm talking little, I won't go into too much of details. There's a picture there, preterm birth, which I've taken from the Florida Hospital. So complication of preterm birth, I'll just mention, there's respiratory problems. They have cardiovascular problems like PDA, these are all congenital issues. The arteries are not well developed. Infection, most likely these babies get sepsis and pneumonia. If you look at the data, if you're a data scientist sitting with me, if you look at the data, there's so much of mortality just because of sepsis and pneumonia, because of infection. GIT problems, necrotizing enterocolitis. So this is what I'm going to just leave with you before I finish my talk. Necrotizing enterocolitis and feeding difficulties. There are neurological problems. A lot of you know, you have seen babies in wheelchair. You have seen how some children are unable to perform to the full potential, because when they were born, they were so preterm that their arteries in the brain just ruptured, right? And because of that, they have intraventricular hemorrhage. It is a life-threatening condition. They get seizures, convulsions. Premature babies have anemia. They have low red blood cell count. So you can see all the time the babies have small blood transfusion running through, because they're so anemic that it causes a life-threatening condition for them. Can I go to the next slide, please? So as I mentioned, today I'm just going to leave you with one simple problem of NEC, so necrotizing enterocolitis, their challenges and innovations, right? So if you see here, it is a serious condition which affects the preterm infants, and mortality rate varies globally. So this condition in US may be less, but in India or maybe in Africa it will be a huge, because it's a very complicated scenario to treat this. So overall mortality rate for infants with NEC can range from 10% to 50%. A baby who, what are the chances? A young couple comes to you in a remote village and the baby develops this. It's really sad. Some studies report a mortality rate of 23.5% for infants with confirmed NEC. Infants with low birth weight, that is less than 1 kilogram, and those requiring surgery have the highest mortality rate. So the only treatment would be, if the situation is worse, after giving the initial antibiotics and stabilizing, would be surgery.
So what causes NEC?
NEC would be because of hypoxia. So when a baby is born, the oxygen is not enough in the gut. Plus, on the top of that, you have feeding given, and once you give the feeding, then there is more necrosis happening because the intestine is not ready to process the milk, and then there is bacteria. So it's an amalgamation of so many things: sepsis, hypoxia. So that leads to this condition. Now, those who are not from medical, you can see there is an X-ray here of this baby with necrotizing enterocolitis. We have some more guests. Welcome to the meeting.
Hello.
Thank
Yes,
you.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm a bit late.
that's fine. We are on live, so we'll just continue
Okay,
and
sure,
then we'll have interactive discussion later. So I'm talking about necrotizing enterocolitis, a condition of premature babies for which, as a MedTech, as a group of scientists, our team is building some solutions. So I'm just describing. So this is a condition, a preterm baby. This is the X-ray. You can see how much air is there in the intestine, and this is not good. That means if you feed this baby, the baby will not be able to tolerate the milk. So just imagine you have an aunt or uncle somewhere in any part of the world. They say we are very blessed to have a baby, but baby is born early, and instead of 9 months of pregnancy, baby came at 7 months of pregnancy. So that baby will be in the nursery for next 2 months, incubator care, so much care, and then you cannot feed the baby, right? And not every country has insurance cover, so a lot of places you have to pay from your pocket, right? And then this baby with the abdominal distension, you can see, is so distended, right? Do you think the baby looks sick or the baby looks well? What do you-
Sick.
Sick, right? So it's not a good slide, right? It's a dangerous slide, right? So we discussed about the challenges of necrotizing enterocolitis. Can we go to the next slide, please? Right. Now, technology. What technology are we using? So to measure this, can we go back to the previous slide again? So if you were to measure this abdominal girth, we have here a lot of scientists sitting with me in the live. I've got data scientists, technical engineers, AI team, biotechnology, medical professionals. So how do you think would you measure this abdominal distension? If I did not show you that measuring tape, which you have already seen, is there anything else you think? Could there be a clever solution to measure this distension? With this recent advances of medicine and the world? Any idea?
So you're asking like without the data or with the
No,
parameters?
like suppose this was a baby in the hospital and you have to monitor every day, come in the morning as a doctor or nurse and see how much distension has improved. It has gone up. Because if the baby has got more distension, baby is getting serious. So if one day the baby's abdomen was this, next day this, so now you know it's like a balloon, it's blowing. So baby will be dying soon. So how are
So
you
we
going to
can
monitor?
have a real-time sensor or something that's connected to different apps on your phone,
Right,
and then the person, maybe the parent or something,
right.
are
Alerted.
yeah, we can have a real-time alert,
Right.
and that could be like to all stakeholders of business, maybe the doctor, the nurse, and you don't have
So
to make
can
it.
you please come here in front here for 1 second? Because our live would want to know this clever idea is coming from you.
But it's not that
It's very
clever.
clever. Please you can come here because we want to acknowledge your idea also. So this is the purpose of having this live discussion, that people who are watching, they learn how students come with very clever ideas. So what you mentioned, these are the ideas which are being developed, right?
Yeah.
So can you explain once again what you think, how that sensor can help?
The sensor can have the data attached to
You can come here.
a
You can,
machine
so
or something.
where would you put the sensor? Where would you put the sensor?
So I don't exactly anatomically know where it goes,
Right.
but I think it monitors the breath, and that's how you can. So maybe here itself,
Right. Okay.
and then you
Good
can
try.
have.
Good try.
That's not where
Right.
it is.
No,
I'm
but
not
it's
sure.
all about learning, right?
Right.
So the sensor has to be somewhere around the abdomen,
Oh right.
right?
Yeah.
Because
that's-
you are looking at the distensions. If you even at the chest, it can pick up, right? So
Okay.
so this is what we were discussing, how we can all come together. Thank you so much. You can tell your name,
Anjali,
Anjali, and what do you study here?
I study information technology.
Information technology. Big clap for her, please. That was wonderful answer. Yeah. So this is what we are discussing here. When we come together under one roof, and just imagine tomorrow if this technology gets taken, then how happy you will be. So we are working on the same. We didn't tell you we are working on the sensors only.
Oh.
But we come to the next slide now. Okay. So presently, what is happening across the world is that the nurses measure the abdominal distension with the measuring tape. This is the norm in this modern world. You know how many problems are there? There's a manual error, right? Every nurse will measure differently. Painful and invasive. Just imagine a baby with so much of pain. If you have diarrhea, do you want anybody to touch your abdomen? No. But this baby, everybody's coming and measuring. So painful. It's invasive. You're getting hands in. Chances of infection, less accurate. One nurse can say 3 centimeter, other would say 3.2 centimeter. There's no kind of a calibration. So there's so much of accuracy issue. And presently we are working on finding sensor-based approach in early detection of NEC. So that's what we have started working on. I'm dealing, okay, let's go next. So we will not talk the technology here, we're just giving the idea. So when we build the team, a lot of students would think why we are here, right? So we are here to get people together. Suppose in this group of 20, 30 or whatever people we are together, if we all start thinking, how can we get this problem sorted? It is not about my idea, it is about a baby's health. If somebody is watching my YouTube and they come up with a sensor idea, we are happy because it's not about that we have to invent, it is about getting the world together to find a problem. So if somebody watching this YouTube creates a sensor idea and gets it patented and moving forward, we are more than happy, right? So what is needed? So how can we change the health systems? Who's needed? We need mechanical engineers, we need doctors, nurses, electrical engineers, we need prototype designing people, we need NICU staff. So once you have created the technology, it has to go to the neonatal centers, right? Then you have to get their approval, right? So all this is needed to bring up a solution, and then the way we will get the benefit. It takes years and years. It's not an easy job. So sometimes you're lucky, somebody is watching this and they say, well, we want to invest with you. Well and good. That's why we are here, to talk about the problem. And we are very thankful to the collaborations. M-Hub Chicago, it's a wonderful place. If you Google search M-Hub Chicago, anybody here who's into science or who wants to create their own innovation, a lot of students here, they can go. It's free. It's pretty much free. They do a lot of networking. Students get a lot of support. If you're going to Chicago, definitely go to M-Hub. We have consultancy team in Boston who's helping me, and a lot of university students have helped me already in developing this idea. We are moving very fast with this idea. Once it is there, it will come out. So that was anything else? So thank you so much for all your lively participation. If there are any questions from the audience, otherwise we'll maybe have a lunch break here. Students are, I'm sure, wanting to get into their pizzas, and then we'll reconnect in maybe half an hour.
Just compliments, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for all the support, and it needs a lot of energy to come together, especially when it's a startup. When the things have already started, everybody is going to join into the bandwagon because the things have started. But when you're starting something new, it's always a challenge, it's always a struggle. But I always tell, I get a lot of students, they ask me and they say, sir, how do you get the energy? It's not about how many people are there, it's about how many passionate people are with you.
We have a question: are undergrad students allowed to join?
Definitely, this is a welcome initiative. Charan, can you put the Charankamal logo on the first slide? So undergraduate students, they calling from US or
From US.
Yes. So we as a group of individuals believe that the best invention comes from the freshest of minds. People like us, we know the problems, but we could not invent. We just worked and worked with whatever technology we were given, we just kept working with that technology. We never had the time to think and pause and think how ventilator is made. We are so stuck in the middle of operating things. But when young people like you in the room or on the YouTube, you all come with new technology, new innovations. Whether you're undergraduate, graduate, or somebody senior, when you work in a group, everybody is welcome.
Doctor, what motivated you to actually start this?
And the whole thing.
Yeah.
So can you show her the first slide where I come from so she'll get an idea? So what motivated me was the excellent education. I was so fortunate as a doctor in India. This is my first photograph over there, SN Medical College, Agra. I studied my MBBS and postgrad from Agra. Then I went to Adelaide in Australia, where I studied about the public health and international health development. And then I did my data analytics from Brandeis University. All of you who are with me live here, you are very much aware. So Brandeis University is one of the very prestigious universities. A lot of students come here for business analytics, data analytics, but they also have a wing which is known as Heller's Institute. Heller's Institute is one of the top 10 in policy making. And when I took that course, I understood that as a doctor, I was working with such limited knowledge. My knowledge was only going to the hospital, treating the baby, coming out, but I did not understand so many things which are around when you treat a baby. If you don't have a good data, like today we can say 50% babies die due to necrotizing enterocolitis. So this is the data. Is that accurate data? No, because a lot of people are not putting the data. Many centers are not putting the data. Mortality could be even 75%, we don't know, right? So when you ask what is the motivation is and you show her the global health one also, right? And global health, because I've worked with so many people, I have worked with all different populations, India, London, Australia, having traveled, having worked with so many people, young scientists, I believe that, at our age now, we have to get together to improve the global health. So that is my motivation. I want to use my knowledge for the benefit of patients. So thank you for asking that question. Okay, so we'll have a break now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Somebody starts shift the camera. Mute it. We can mute it.
Sure. Oh, from above.
So we'll be back in half an hour. So I'm putting it on mute. Hello, friends. We'll be coming back to this leadership lecture series, and in our very first start, we are delighted to invite our next speaker, Dr. Satish Sharma, and he will be telling about his experiences, about the future, and he totally believes that the youth has the key to the problems, and he loves youth. He's there as your mentor and as part of a senior director for our Charankamal Health Group. I'm sure you'll learn a lot. So let's welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv, Markot, Muskan. Thank you so much for arranging this discussion. I would say it should be more interactive. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to share my experience with you all. And I hope in some way it can help you. And what I can share is like I come from India, same background like you guys. Moved to US after my PhD, did my research in postdoc labs in UPenn and Jefferson, and then I moved to pharmaceutical industry. So I have from discovery to drug manufacturing experience, end to end basically, from discovery through manufacturing of the drugs. Specifically, I would like to share what I have learned and done throughout my career. So if that is helpful to you, anyone, please feel free to stop me on the way and discuss like if there are any questions. So yeah, so my topic will be innovations in immunotherapy drug discovery. This is what I have been doing in previous companies, pharmaceutical companies like Bristol Myers and Takeda Pharmaceuticals. Currently, I'm open to new roles and consulting as a self-employed consultant. But I'm open to any questions at any time you guys have. I'll start with the brief background overview of how biopharma industry works. So you might have seen most of these big players in biopharma company, Roche, J&J, Pfizer, all these big names. What they do. So what is biopharma? Biopharma is the medicines that are like not small molecules, but they are biological origin molecules which are treating different diseases. So there are tablets which, like you see, Tylenol, Motrin. These are called small molecules. Large molecules like peptides, proteins, and even bigger drugs like monoclonal antibodies, or even some viruses and cells are used for therapies. These are called biologics or biotherapeutic drugs. So this is the biopharma industry landscape. Basically, I wanted to also bring in the dollar value here, how the industry is increasing, and there's a forecast like it's going to almost double in the next decade or so. So just to give you an example, like there's a need, and there are so many new drugs are coming up. Industries are working very hard from discovery through developing new drugs on the side of the regulatory agencies like FDA. So every day there is some new drugs getting approved. So fortunately we are in an era where lots of drugs have come in last few years, and we are getting uh, so many lives are saved every year throughout the world. So from this.
So there is a comment for you. It says, I am a nurse, sir, and I know how important biopharma is in rehab. And then somebody has mentioned physiotherapy also needs equal support from the biopharma industry in rehab process. So those are two comments, sir, that we all need support,
Yes,
interdisciplinary,
thank you so much.
yeah.
So that's why I was trying to say like everybody can support and can be involved. It benefits every one of us. So biopharma is such a big field. Like it includes data, it includes chemical engineering, sciences, discovery tools, biology, and from there analytics, data analytics, lab analytics. So lab data is needed for everything. So this is what I meant to say when I said like this is such a big industry that everyone can be involved at some place in the system. So I would like to bring up this slide where you can see like from start to finish when we see the drug in the market, but it goes through all these different phases. As you can see on the right, this picture from FDA website I have is it shows you the preclinical research and animal testing, and then from that point of view, start working with the regulatory authorities like FDA in US, but all different countries, wherever you want to market your drugs finally, if you want to put the new drugs into for approval process, starts very early from the preclinical area stage. Then when the data is good, then we move forward to clinical studies, which are clinical trials, phase 1 clinical trial, which is for safety, drug safety, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials. If the drug passes through all these stages and clinical data looks good in the patients, then it goes for the BLA, as we call it, the biologics license agreement, or NDA for the small molecules. So those are the stages. So you can imagine from beginning to the end for one drug, it can take several years. So can anybody guess how many years probably?
10 years.
10 years. It can take up to 10 years, even more sometimes.
So for one molecule to get to the market.
Get to the market from beginning to the end stage. So all this process happens. You can see in the blue stripes are when the FDA learns about it, when we put the in the system, we ask for their approval to go into phase 1 trial, clinical trial. When they approve it, then it's industry time. All this white time is industry time. Blue stripes are the FDA that takes time to review or approve those drugs. So, and cost, as you can imagine, depends on the disease also, but immunotherapies that I'm talking about, they are very, very expensive to produce, do research, and all that comes into the total cost of the drug. So currently they're very expensive, but still very, very promising, and they're specifically targeting specific areas of disease. So they are not as harmful as you would think. Like for example, for cancer, if you do chemotherapy, radiotherapy, they are destroying other parts of the system also from the patient. So patient becomes weak, and
So your voice, the students want a little bit louder.
I-
So speak a bit louder. Other thing, one student was asking, sir, when they look at this chart, so for young people who are following us on YouTube, they're listening across the world. I got a question from India. So where do you find the students entering when they're in the job market? Do they go into the preclinical research? If you can just point there, their clinical studies, or students can enter any part of the drug development process?
Very, very good question. So actually, as you can imagine, like from beginning to end, there are so many different departments of the industry. Companies are working on different types of development of the drug from the beginning of like preclinical stage through the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. When the drug is developing, it is going through different departments in the system, in the company. So for example, when you have a prototype, for example, for any product that we have in the preclinical stage, you can say, we start testing those drugs as if they're going to be the final drug. So we want to know the quality of the drug, purity of the product, and impurities also. We want to minimize the impurities, because impurities in the drugs can be very harmful. So you can imagine like there's lab requirement, data analysis required, informatics required, bioinformatics starts with discovery. But wherever the drug is at this stage currently, say for example it's at phase 3 stage, so at phase 3 stage the company would be working on the process development of that drug, how to manufacture that drug in a larger scale. So they will do some lab studies, small scale lab studies in tubes, flasks, and they will measure everything from that. Like immunotherapies are made in cells. So cells produce those monoclonal antibodies that are actually drugs. So when you are making those drugs in test tubes and flasks, you want to upscale it at that point to a larger, when you have to produce in kilos, that amount of drug. So you want to do those studies at that point. So undergrads can involve at any stage, I would say, and depends on what your background is, what you're looking for. If you're a lab person, you have biotechnology degree, you can enter at phase 1 through even preclinical to phase 3 or something at any time, at any stage. You will be needed at the lab stage.
Thank you, sir. I think some of the students were mentioning if sir could do a series of like easy slides for the early, because like a lot of YouTube our watchers are early college or looking into the job market. As you know, across the world, the best empowerment thing is through the job, right? And people would love to hear from you like about this industry. Maybe you could do a live YouTube personal sessions, or you can come with slides for the very beginning so people can follow you. And after 6 or 7 series on the YouTube, they can go back and understand that how you started guiding them into the process.
Of course, we can do that.
So that
Thank you
would
for
be
the
great.
question. Yes, that's a great idea, because here, for, just for the sake of time, I wanted to keep it brief.
Yes.
But more of a discussion. If these questions are coming, they're opening up more,
Ideas.
ideas for me, and I can easily share with you what is actually what my experience is. So this is great actually. So I can do the lab series, the YouTube series if you want. But I would like to say, like, at this stage, this picture is just to show the how drug is prepared in the manufactured in the companies, and where you can fit in data sciences. For example, data sciences will be needed at every stage. When you have clinical research data, for example, 500 patients in phase 1, in phase 1, 2, 3, more and more patients are enrolled, so you get a lot of data from them. And each patient data, everything is recorded, their vitals, their lab results, they take their blood, they give them, for example, in phase 1 study, they gave some drug to them. They will try to measure what side effects they had. So every data will be recorded. So you can imagine, like, it will have like 5,000 columns, 2,000 rows in that data set, which you need bigger software to, of course, like Python language or SAS software to analyze those. So data statistical people can join there at that point.
So there is a question. Muskan is going to join the YouTube in the front. So some people were asking, some students, that what is this program? How Muskan is thinking of bringing this, and then sir will come back. So Muskan, what is this you have created under your leadership? What you are trying to help the because students are from across the world.
Yeah.
They want to know how they can benefit from your this
Okay.
MedTech vibes.
Yes, so this MedTech Vibes is a student-based volunteering platform. So we're looking to connect students in various fields, particularly in AI, data science, robotics, medicine, computer science, IT, any field basically, and build a networking support group. Um, yeah, it's just to gain leadership experience, build a networking community with students all across the world, and yeah, help each other to grow in your career perspective. And yeah, if you have any other questions, do let me know. And anyone is welcome to participate. Participation is free of cost, and yeah, we're looking forward to building a great team. And yes, if there are any questions, put that in the chat box. Okay, Satish sir will now continue.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for all the questions. I'm really happy that it's been an interactive discussion, and I hope it will help everyone. So please keep sending your questions. Yeah. So this was just to show the overall picture of how the pharmaceutical industry works. These drugs are made in big labs, big manufacturing facilities around the world. So now everything is global. Like one part of the company part is done in one site. When the drug is ready for manufacturing, then it goes to different sites. It can go even globally. Like sometimes in Korea, China, India, everywhere those are produced. So manufacturing time, when the drug is approved and it's in manufacturing process, then we need to also have regulatory oversight. FDA and all regulatory authorities are looking over. Are we producing clean drug? And robust processes are there. They're making sure that all the drugs are definitely that quality. So at that point also, a lot of analytical data is needed. Lab data plus analytical data is needed to support